Hello guys, and welcome to the very first Gal and Woo in the Stew of 2018.
Yes.
Very excited to be doing this. We've reshuffled the studio slightly. For those that have been in here, for those that are fans of the studio, you'll notice that this area, we had the DJ booth that was sitting in there for the Friday live streams, but ripped all that out, got a new swanky booth there, and it's allowing us to do this kind of content, sitting here, chilled out, talking to you guys. So
I think it's a good way to show the artwork.
The actual artwork.
Yes, because we've got the whole thing. We always show just a little bit of it, so now we're using the full wall in all its glory for the start of 2018 in the new format.
Absolutely. So today is the Gal and Woo and the Stew show.
Yep.
It's not quite the SKapade show because we don't have a big fancy guest on, but it's all about adding value to you guys out there in the music production world. Because that's what we do.
That's what we do full time, so we're looking to try and help in any way possible that we can, especially in Scotland.
Yep.
We like to try and do things a little bit differently and how we've built our brand, and hopefully if we can give some of that back and help you guys do your thing, then that's a result.
It's all about collaboration and building a community, and that's exactly what we're doing here at SKapade. So it starts here, and we've got three things. So first thing, label submissions. Label submissions, very important. No matter what level you're on, whether you're just starting out or whether you're intermediate, whether you're advanced, sending your hard worked on music to a label is one of the most daunting things you'll ever do because you've spent so much time on it. You know, you're scared of rejection, all of these artistic, flaws that you get in your brain. You're very, very scared. But what you want to do is give yourself the best chance of your music being listened to in a sea of loads of music being sent,
Why don't we take it from there then? Because obviously I've been working alongside you for a long time now, and I know I kind of get the gist of how you approach a label. So what would you say are some of the main things in terms of like actually just approaching a label of your choice? Because obviously when you're starting out, you're not a name yet, you're trying to build up the ladder, so you're not going to probably hit the label that you want to hit.
No chance.
So first off, how do you face that sort of rejection? And then how do you actually approach them?
Well, it's all, you need to look at the labels that are at the top of their game and use them as competition, and you always want to be challenging yourself or feeling out your depth as a producer. You always want to be like, my tracks have got a million miles away to go here, but that's where I'm aiming to. You'll always be improving that.
I think every artist does that though, they just beat themselves up. I see it with these guys all the time, and that's because you want the best from yourself.
You've got to set the bar absolutely high. And when you first start making music, as you say, you're not going to be at the level, of course not. It takes years to create that type of sound. But I'd say a good way of starting would be to pick your top 5 labels that are releasing the music that you like.
That you would like to,
And just start working at nailing that sound, but with your own kind of unique flavour. And once you get to a level that you think that you can maybe get onto those sort of labels, maybe go to a label before the one that's like a feeder maybe. To like the main one you want on. Let's just say it was Drum Code. So say there'll be other labels that get the support, but they're not Drum Code.
Absolutely.
Potentially a good place to start targeting your music. A thing that you should definitely do is make sure you're not sending it to all those labels at the same time. I say that's quite a big one. I've heard some horror stories over the years of people, again, just lacking experience. To say they've made a track. And then they go, right, well, there's my 10 top labels. They send it to all of those labels at the same time, including their email and the actual email you're sending out. Again, it's not setting you up for the best kind of response if they even respond to you. They want to feel special, these labels, don't they?
They do. See, another thing as well, I think, is do your research. Do your research on the label. We know of someone through the network who, what Stephen was talking about there, he'd sent something to like 35 labels through sort of inexperience, copied them all in on it. At least if he'd BCC'd them, which you shouldn't do either, you should just send them all individually. But he'd sent them all to everyone, and one of the ones that he did send to, he actually spelt the person's name wrong twice in the email. and he got it confused with an artist and a label, because you know there's lots of artists and labels that get sort of similar names that might not even be connected.
Yep.
And he'd spelt their name wrong twice, and they got back and said, first off, sending it to 35 other emails and other labels, no one's going to want to touch it, and second off, you've not spelt their name correctly. So do your research before you send it.
Absolutely. And to back that up, keep it short, keep it personal, but don't drone on with a 6-page bio about everything you've achieved. Labels,
they don't care.
A&Rs and labels, I'm telling you, they'll be sifting through mountains of music at the same time. They'll be like, straight in,
20 seconds,
boom,
10 seconds,
Joe Bloggs from Dumbarton, he's released on these labels, great, there's his track, click, boom, done.
They're skipping through the whole thing as well.
No one's got time to
listen to a full track.
No, and not just that, nobody's got time to read through a full bio about yourself. It's straight into the email. Nicely spaced out, worded out, spell everything correctly, of course. You're sending it to a label. Even try and contact the A&R personally and say, you don't want to pester people, of course, but if you can get a hold of the A&R for a specific label, that always helps.
Again, it goes back to do your research. Look at who's involved actually in the label, who's working. That is an absolute cracking point. So can you give us an example of a potential open statement for maybe someone who's watching who is like, look, I'm at the stage where I think I can send something out, but I have no idea how to word it, or what do I write, and maybe they have wrote all their bio and they're like, they're freaking out.
A couple of things.
How do we help them?
Firstly, be sure that you're ready to send it out.
Yeah.
People are far too overconfident on their own tunes. I hate to say it.
Because it's their own.
Because it's their own. They think it's the next number one.
Yeah.
And most often it's not the case, but speak to someone who's not your friend or family member about it. Maybe somebody down at our studio, somebody who's involved in the music industry.
Yeah.
They'll tell you straight whether they think it's ready. And if it is, absolutely great.
Get it out.
Absolutely brilliant.
Okay, so Stephen, see for someone who is up and coming, looking to get their music out there, send their stuff to labels, what is a good opening statement and what is a good format to actually send the track? Because that's a question we get asked a lot from clients and people coming to.
So we've already covered, keep it personal.
Yep.
Keep it short. So it's, hello, big gal here.
Yeah.
I've been a massive fan of your label. I always feel a compliment's good.
Definitely.
Been a massive fan for years. I've put these tracks together in the form of an EP called such and such.
Yep.
I'd love for you to be able to listen to it. Check it out here. Make sure the links are working, of course.
Yes.
Hopefully hear back from you soon. Cheers. Big gal.
Yeah.
Done.
What about even something as well, like, this might suit your label or something, something that's like I've tailored it for you. Like.
Hopefully this is something that suits your label. I've been a big fan. And, not big ego maniac drivel, you get sometimes.
I've signed to this label before. They don't want to hear that.
Sometimes you can maybe say, look, I've worked with, say it was Drum Code, I've worked with Tronic before, I've worked with... that's sometimes good. Again, just keeping it short. All of this is common sense, I'd say.
Absolutely.
So that would be it in a nutshell. Just keep it simple, and make sure you're not sending it to many emails at the one time. That should be you.
That absolutely. But at the same time, even though it is common sense, people just because they are so close to their own tune that they do think it's going to be the next number one or whatever. They're like, you need to listen to this. Also, we were talking about before we started film, we were talking about following up with labels and things like that.
Yeah, that was another point.
That's a great point that I think you need to share.
Yeah, of course. So once you've submitted the demo, let's say, you're very tempted to be checking up on it every day. Refreshing. Have they got back? Oh, that's been 3 days. I better message them back. Leave it. Leave it, because these A&Rs and labels are overcooked with demo submissions, especially the ones you want to get on. For instance, Drum Code. How many demos must they get? So you basically want to leave it for, I'd say, about 2 weeks, maybe 3. Leave it 2 or 3 weeks. That gives them enough time to listen. If they like it, gives them enough time to get back to you. Maybe after 2 weeks you could send them a nice wee follow-up email. Hi, did you get a chance to listen to the track? I'd love to hear back from you. If they don't get back to you after that one, I'd just leave it. Because if you've got any chance of getting onto that label again in the future, you don't want to be seen as a pest that's constantly following up. One follow-up email after you've submitted the original one, I'd say would be the best way to do it.
Thing is as well, I think if it's something that they enjoy, they're probably going to get back to you.
Of course, aye. That's it. Again, it all comes down to the music. If the music's good enough, they'll be in touch.
They'll listen.
Guaranteed.
I think that's a cracking point. Also, probably a good way to know if someone's listened to it as like a private SoundCloud link, isn't it? And then you can actually see if people have played it.
That's a great point. Probably the preferred method of sending demos is through SoundCloud for that function, because you can see if the label has listened, where they've listened, have they downloaded it, have they listened twice, 3 times. If they've only listened once, then good chance they don't like the track.
Yep.
But if they've listened 3-4 times, they're interested. So that's an interesting one. SoundCloud, I definitely use it. Even Dropbox as well, it's good, but it doesn't have that function.
Another thing I remember someone came across that the label would get back to them because their SoundCloud link had 7 plays on it. Now the 7 plays were like him and his pals like refreshing and listening to it, but because they were like, other people have heard this, we don't want it. So if you're going to do it, send a fresh link with 0 plays on it. Make it exclusive, like they are the first people to have ever heard it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's probably another decent bit of advice.
Absolutely. So that covers label submissions tricks. Yes. Wanted to get that in there. It's a common pitfall for those out there producing, even well-known producers. Well, simple rules to follow, and they'll hopefully help your chances in getting your music out there to the labels that you want to get on.
Hopefully that answers that for you. Now we've got 3 points to make today, as we said. The second point, which is a pretty interesting one that means quite a lot to us in here in SKapade, especially yourself, James Slaven, some of the other guys there, is warm-up sets.
Warm-up sets.
What do we mean?
Warm-up sets. So, warm-up sets. Warm-up sets.
Let's just keep saying it. Warm-up sets.
Warm-up sets. Go and stop saying warm-up sets.
What is a warm-up set?
One of the most important sets of the night, if not the most important.
Absolutely.
If you do a good warm-up set, you're spoken about by everyone, or you're spoken badly about. Oh, that warm-up DJ absolutely crucified it, was smashing out all the big hits. Not a warm-up set. Oh my goodness, that warm-up DJ absolutely nailed it.
Who was that?
Set the tone, I'm going to book him again.
Yes.
Warm-up sets are very important. One, they allow you to dig deep for tracks you would normally play.
Which is fun.
Of course, they expand your musical palette.
Yeah.
Yourself. If you were doing a warm-up set after, before a big DJ, like, I don't know, a big house DJ or something, you'd be tempted to go into different realms for your music.
Yes.
Which can, make you a better artist. It can grow your kind of, your musical taste buds. So I'd say, that.
See, I think for me, I think it would be such a brass neck if I were, playing before somebody that was like techno or whatever to even encroach in their realm. I'd be like, no, I'm going to keep it totally housey, loungy, this is not about me. This is to get them in the door, get their drinks, talk to their mates, get the night warmed up, because if there's a headliner coming and you're warming up, they're not there to see you. Now that doesn't sound nice, but it's the truth. They're here to see who they paid the ticket for, and if you can blow them away by warming them up and not hitting out with all the number 1 hits and all the singles, because that's the last thing you want to see happen.
It's a very important thing for us to cover. There's not enough coverage on this subject, and if you're lucky enough as a DJ to be given a warm-up set at a big gig, do not go on and just get all the top 10 beat ports and all what everyone else is playing and go, I'm going to play these big bangers because all my mates are going to be there, and I'm going to impress the promoter because I'm playing all these big tunes. The promoter's not going to be impressed.
No.
You want the night to start the moment you walk through that door. The music shouldn't be that loud.
No.
You should be going to the bar to get yourself a drink, some nice, cool, slowed down beats that you can really just warm your ears up to. Speak to your mates, get into the groove. Then the next set comes on and it follows on as a nice progression through the different styles.
Yeah.
In my mind, is how a good event should run.
I would say another great point as well is do not play a track from the artist who's coming on after you.
I was going to say that.
Jesus Christ, man. We've seen it happen, and they're slamming out one of their big hits, and it's like, mate, leave that for him.
I know.
Because it's his tune. But people do it.
Some of this stuff.
You do see it, unfortunately, because I think as well, a lot of people, they want the limelight. So they want to be seen to be smashing out the hits.
It's counterintuitive though. It's actually like, rather than playing the big hits that you think might get you the attention, play it cooler and play to the crowd and the ambience and the atmosphere of the club or of the room.
Yeah. I mean, you do see it, unfortunately, with the warm up, that it seems to have kind of slightly died a wee bit in terms of people caring as much about it. Not in the big festivals. Big festivals still totally smash that. I think a lot of the weird guys who are trying to grow again, they're trying to get their name out there quicker, and they're just sort of playing anything. I mean, we went to an event last year was a big trance event, and it was like the first warm-up set of the night, and he was banging it out to like 136 BPM. You know, now it's like fair enough if that's the sort of event what it was, but the event is sort of techno, it was trance. It's, you know, there should be an allowance for warm-up, and the DJ after it was just kind of saying, "Oh, I don't know how to play anything else."
I guess a lot of this comes down to the promoters as well. I guess like promoters need to
make that clear,
make it clear, and also book the right DJs that they know, rather than going, I'll stick you on first just because you've sold the tickets. I'll put you on because I know musically you're going to do the night as a whole justice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's quite a lot to do with the promoter as well. And of course the DJ, so we're talking to DJs, producers and even promoters here.
Yeah.
Try to improve the general, you know, the vibe when it comes to warm-up sets and stuff. You know, it's all about awareness and knowledge, you know, and there is nothing better than walking into a big event.
That's beautiful sounds.
And you've got that just, I'm in here and I can't wait for the night. If you walk in and you hear the big hit, you're expecting to hear at 2 a.m. You're like, almost
takes away
like
from the night.
You've ran out of steam before you even kicked a ball, really.
Yeah.
So
I agree. That's certainly something in our opinion, you know, that's something we believe strongly in, is like warm-up sets and having a natural progression, because it just makes for a good night, I think. It's like, it's like listening to a mix or anything like that, you know, and you want it to sort of go and get maybe a bit harder towards the end.
And what I like is, you know, some of the guys like Shugs and Jace Thirlwall and Will Atkinson, so when they do the extended sets, they'll start with really cool 120 BPM progressive into techno, and before you know it, it's rattling. That's a sign of a DJ that's got a wide range, you know. So shouts to Shugs, Will and Jace, you know.
And all the other guys out there.
Aye, absolutely. So check out some of their sets if you're wanting a wee insight. Shugs' Argentina set's great for that.
I have, and Jace is also away to South Africa this week as well.
So big shout. So that was us covering warm-up sets. Shall we move on to the next?
Yes, absolutely. Now time for point number 3.
Point number 3, social media.
Yes.
As an artist. Very important. Huge phenomenon at the moment.
Yep.
Pros and cons all over the place with that. We were just talking about there before we started some very, very interesting points when it comes to social media as an artist. There's pros, there's cons. You were saying something about, you know, some artists use their social media only and they blow up.
Well, basically it's like we were kind of, we had different opinions, but really it's like, I think what we need to do is meet somewhere in the middle, because you could have the most amazing social media, but your tunes aren't really doing anything, and you're not getting the bookings, and you're maybe looking at guys and say, well, their social media is big, why are they not doing well, right? Then you've got other guys that have got their social media and their tunes aren't great, and they are doing well because the way they sell themselves online. Then you've got the other side where there's people not doing really anything social media, that hate Facebook and all that, they hate putting anything on there, but they're signing to really good labels and they're letting the music do the talking. So really it's like, should you have really great music or a really good social media? I think you should have both. You should meet somewhere in the middle.
A mixture.
You know, you should always have the best quality tunes that you can put, you know, in your mind and what you can do to that. But equally, you should be professional online, you should be promoting yourself, you should try and get yourself out there, because you now, like us, have a platform to put yourself out there. You can put live streams up, you can talk about anything you want to talk about. It's mental, it's completely changed from like 10 years ago. So I would urge you to try and have both.
Absolutely, you know, it's an interesting game. No two journeys are the same. This is what it boils down to. Either a really great whiz at social media, some who we know who get their viral videos and they get booked all over the world, yet they don't make their own music. Or you've got the other side, which isn't a bad thing, you know.
No, not at all.
You can't be gifted at
everything.
Production, engineering, mixing and mastering. I just listed 4 actual trades there. Like, you know, you can't be expected to do them all, so there's nothing wrong with getting some help in your tracks. But going back to what I was saying there, you know, you've either got a great social media page, platform, hype is the word. And that can accelerate you through, or you're not really into social media, and you detest it, the thought of opening up Facebook,
and you just want to engineer music,
and you're kind of geeky like that. Nothing wrong with it, you know, and your music might just be absolutely, you know, impeccable, and that's it. Again, no two journeys are the same, but as artists that are coming into the scene, I'd definitely say it's important to establish a social media presence, because if you're looking to get booked, they will search you. They want to see your contact information. If you can get a website up, great. SoundCloud, try and get all your names the same. So if it was like Big Gal, you'd want soundcloud.com/Big Gal, facebook.com/Big Gal, twitter.com/Big Gal.
Great point.
Get them all uniform with that.
Because you see ones that are set up with like SoundCloud/Big Gal 129568259.
It just helps. I was lucky enough to get Stephen Kirkwood, quite a unique name, but I got everything Stephen Kirkwood, you know, and that works for me.
Yeah.
And I've just got that, you know, that foundation of social media stuff. You type the name in, you get all of it. So it's important, but also important is what we're just chatting about, is the music. Discover yourself as an artist. Get your inspiration down, you know, your influences. Work hard at the music if that's your thing.
Yep.
And I think just to cap it off, really, you're good at what you're good at.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I think if you're naturally good at social media posts, then look,
then do it.
You've got a better chance of doing anything with your career there. Or maybe get one of your mates who's good at music, and you're good at social media, and create a partnership.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, you know.
Yeah, and I think just sort of backing up what you were saying there in terms of like you can't have it all. You'd actually probably be surprised at the amount of music out there that people love. Yeah. That they think, oh, that's that artist that made that. 9 times out of 10, a lot of these big guys have got teams of people that are actually helping with all the music.
Absolutely.
It doesn't take away from the integrity of the project. Not at all. It's like NWA back in the day. Yeah, Dre, the chief engineer, but all these guys bringing their ideas to him.
Yeah, I think an important point is thinking that you need to do it all yourself is in itself a limiting belief.
I'll hold you back.
Because
you can.
We're quite a collaborative bunch at the studio, and me helping in, giving in and helping second phase, Stuart with a bit of a track and vice versa, he comes in, and if he can help me a bit, or Big Gal coming in listening to like a bass line or whatever, it's a very powerful thing, collaboration, and rather than being, you know, if that's you of course, but if you're thinking you need to do everything yourself, just let go a bit, expand a bit, you know, and share your music with people that you trust, you know, and I think overall it would be a better kind of...
Absolutely, you know? So always seek feedback and always try and grow.
Not from family and friends, no, because they'll probably tell you it's great.
Yeah, that's true. You say, oh, my mum says it was great.
My mum says it was amazing.
So there we go, 3 points. How to send to labels, how to warm up properly, and whether social media or music is the most important. Again, all of it's important. All of it is hard to understand when you're just getting in the game, but there are people out there that can help you. Just seek their advice, just ask them. 9 times out of 10 they'll actually help you.
Absolutely, and we felt these subjects were quite important to cover because they come up in this industry.
We hear it all the time. So
hopefully that's added some value to you guys, you DJ and producers out there.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's just one wee thing that's helped, and great.
Totally.
Then it's been beneficial watching the video.
Yes.
So this has been the Gal and Woo in the Stew, first show of 2018.
Yes. Keep your eyes on the page for all the stuff coming up.
On the page, subscribe to the channel. It'll be there, I believe. Subscribe to the channel. We'll have another SKapade show coming up soon. We've got a big guest, big gamer, big Scottish guest.
Yes,
looking forward to that. If you're a fan of Call of Duty, then you might know the guy. So I'll leave that there.
Yes.
Leave that there. I'm not going to say any more about it, but it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. So that'll be the SKapade show. But for now, we've been Gal and Woo
in the Stew.
We'll see you again next time.
See you soon.